Hello everyone, this is your host Vaibhav. In today's session of Daily Stock, we are going to talk about a very well-known company across the globe because this is a maker of footwear and apparels which are loved by one and all, the Nike. Its quarterly results were not that good, in particular for the investors who have been holding on to its shares in the hope of further rise, and also those traders who had long positions. The results were such that the stock saw steep decline, and for last couple of sessions it has lost value by more than 10 percentage point. And this steep decline is not one-off event, because if you look at the broader trajectory of the stock for last couple of months, it has been clearly bearish. And even after this decline, I feel that the momentum is still on the sides of the bears, and it will be prudent for us to go with the flow, go with the momentum, and till the tide turns, it is better for us to keep looking for the opportunity to short. So the sale on rally is the mantra for the Nike traders and investors. We will see what is that is making the Nike stock so bearish for a while now. The quarterly results came in for the third quarter of fiscal year 2024, and in it, the Nike Inc. has reported the revenues, which are slightly more than $12 billions. And then, if you compare these revenues to the same quarter of fiscal year 2023, you will see that the revenues are almost flat. There is not much of a change. But if you look at the revenues on quarter basis and compare it to the second quarter of the fiscal year 2024, you will see almost a 10 percentage point decline. I'm not being precise here, the numbers can be slightly up or down, but I'm giving you an idea that in quarterly on quarter terms there has been decline, whereas there has been no growth in year-on-year terms. So as expected, the investors are not going to be very happy about this kind of numbers, because everyone wants the company to grow, the revenues to grow, the net profit to grow, but none of that is happening in the case of Nike, and that is what is pulling the stock price down for the Nike. It has embarked on an ambitious cost cutting plan. It has tried to streamline its business operations and administration, but as of now, it hasn't really paid off much. Of course, it is an ongoing process, and maybe in the coming quarters we might see some sort of results on that front. But right now, that seems to be still far away in the future, and that is not really providing any hope at the moment for the investors, for the long traders. Now, if you look at the key highlights of the earnings report, you will see that its net profit is not higher. Instead, it is lower in comparison to the third quarter of fiscal year 2023. And as I said, the revenues are flat. So that clearly points to the lower operational margin for the company, because that indicates that the cost of doing business has actually gone up. Even the marketing expenses have gone up, the administration and related expenses have as well gone up. So all these factors are weighing on the stock price negatively. For the third quarter, the revenue, as I said, remained flat at $12.4 billion. There is a gross margin improvement of 150 basis points, but that is not really showing up in the net profit, because the selling and administration expenses have gone up by 7 percentage point. The effective tax rate was also on the higher side. The net income as a result was down 5% to $1.2 billion, with EPS decreasing 3%. In the balance sheet, the cash and cash equivalents were at $10.6 billion, which is lower by $200 million in comparison to the last year. The shareholders have been rewarded by the company with it returning 1.5 1.4 billion to the shareholders, including the dividends of $562 million. The share repurchase program of $866 million was also executed in the last quarter. Now we are going to consider its income statement in a bit of details. Here you can see that the revenues are flat, the cost of sales is lower by 2 percentage point, but what is dampening the shareholders mood is this increase in demand creation expense and operating overhead expenses, which have gone up 10% and 6% respectively. Then there is increase in selling and administrative expense as well, with it rising 7 percentage point. The income before income taxes is lower by 5 percentage point, and after adjusting for the tax we get this the net income of $1.17 billion. Now coming to the balance sheet, there is not much of a change in the assets and liabilities for the company. The balance sheet has shrunk by 2 percentage point. So we have the total assets which are lower by 2 percentage point, and so are going to be liabilities which need to be matched with the assets. If you look at the revenues in segmental and geographical distribution, you will see that the North America remains the biggest market for the Nike, with it contributing upward of $5 billion. Then comes the EMEA, that is Europe, Middle East, and Africa, which together contributes to the revenue of $3.1 billion. And then there is this Greater China market, which is also bringing in more than $2 billion, and the least contributor is the Asia Pacific and Latin American region. If you go by the segmental result, then footwear remains the highest contributor with $8.1 billion, followed by apparel with $3.3 billion contribution. Then comes equipment, and there is also small contribution from the global brands division. So all these geographies and segments are making up for the $12 billion revenues. Now we turn our gaze to the technical side of the story to see how things have been shaping up for the Nike for last couple of sessions, couple of weeks, and also couple of months. And in all these three different timelines, you will see that the story has been pretty much similar. The Nike has declined sharply after the release of its earnings, with this decline now extending to almost 10 percentage point in comparison to where it was just prior to the release of earnings report. And this doesn't really seems to be the end of its travels. it remains bearish, so it is going to take a while before we can feel confident about going long in the Nike's shares. But in the meantime, you can keep looking for the opportunity to go short while adapting sell on rallies approach. So in the near term, if your outlook just extends to couple of sessions, I would say that this prior swing low, which is there around $97 per share, should be a key price level to watch out for. As long as price remains below that and continues to consolidate with bearish bias, we can indeed keep looking for the opportunity to go short, and in course of time we can expect the Nike stock to break past this immediate swing low, which is there around $91.7, and maybe in next few sessions, we might even see the Nike decline below 90 price zone and moving towards the prior swing low of 87 or 88 thereabout. So that possibility is there. So all you have to do is watch out for the price movement, and if it remains below prior swing low over next few sessions, then indeed we have the opportunity for us to exploit on the bearish side. But if it shows some signs of life on the lower side, and if the momentum picks up and it does climb towards the prior swing high, then maybe in next dip we can think about the possibility of going long. But till we have a fresh higher high and higher low combination, we don't really need to be rushing things, and instead it is better to go with the momentum and go with the lower high, lower low combination, which is quite conducive for short sale trades. Now, if we expand the time horizon to make it medium term, here also the things have been looking bearish for last couple of weeks. You can even extend it to couple of months since the release of its second quarter earnings report for the fiscal year 2024. 3 months back, we have these bearishness prevail in the stock price of the Nike, and that hasn't really changed. And even on these lower levels, I feel that the momentum is still strongly bearish, and we can expect stock to decline past this immediate swing low, which is there around $88 per share level. So if your outlook is of medium term, even in that case, it is better for you to keep looking for the opportunities to go short. So sell on rally is the mantra for medium term as well, as is the case in the short term. So for both these different time horizons, the short term as well as medium term, it is going to be better for us to pay attention to the price levels and then go with the flow. Here for us, this consolidation swing high of about 105 is going to be a crucial marker. As long as the price remains below that, we can be fairly confident of the continuity of these bearishness and keep looking for the opportunities to go short. Now, if we change it to the longer term, the things still remains bearish. Here you can see that for last couple of quarters, the price has hovered in this price band of 80 to 120, and after failing to cross above this prior swing high of 130 in this attempt as well, the stock has started to decline quite fast, quite steeply. So I feel now for next couple of quarters, the price level of 130 is going to be crucial, and as long as the price continue to trade below that, I would remain strongly bearish from the longer term perspective also, and in course of time we can even expect the Nike to break below 80, and maybe in the second half of this year we might even see it declining towards 75 or thereabout levels. So keeping that possibility in mind, we still have almost a 20 percentage point decline possible from the current levels. So it will be better for us to sit on the sidelines if you are simply a investor and want to invest in the Nike stock. Maybe that time is still to come, and we will get the Nike at a better price in the second half of this year. That is my take looking at the current price formation of the Nike's stock. We have already seen its earnings report, which is also not that inspiring. It is showing that the revenues have remained flat to negative for the Nike for last couple of quarters. And till that changes, I don't really feel the momentum is going to change on the chart for the Nike. So overall, the business sentiment are on the bearish side for the Nike, and that is what we can take advantage of and keep looking for the opportunity to go short. So that's my take looking at the current price formation of the Nike's stock price and its earnings report. If you have any query or any idea to share, do write to me in the feedback, and I will be more than happy to take the discussion forward. Thank you all for joining in. If you have found the session informative and useful for your trading and investing purpose, do write to me in the feedback, and I will be more than happy to take the discussion forward. Thank you all for joining in. See you next time around.